A very good day to our CCN lecturer. My name is Mohamed bin Saimi from Group 11, and we from Group 11 are going to present our group project, which is called the Computer Network Solution for Organization XYZ. Group member 11 consists of me, Firdaus, Johannes, Lee, Oliver, and Leshani. So to start, we will start with the introduction. Organization XYZ consists of three offices, which includes Office A, B, and C. As you can see from the images, Office A and C is placed nearly to each other, while Office B is at the opposite road of Office A and C. Organization XYZ is subscribed to one gateway from the ISP with an uplink of 100 megabits per second and a downlink of 500 megabits per second. When making a network diagram solution for the organization, there are things that we need to consider when making the computer network diagram. Firstly, Office A and B will have restricted Wi-Fi access for the meeting. Facebook is not allowed to be used by any employees during office hours unless they are authorized. There's a file server within the organization that contains documents of the company as well as training video. Last but not least, it has a web server that showcases the company's profile data to the public. As you can see from the table on the right side, it includes all the three offices. And from this, we can learn that Office A has the most number of stationary employees, as well as the number of printers, while Office C has the least number of mobile employees, which is none, and Office B has the least number of stationary employees. So this is the Office A's network solution diagram. The web server and the file server can be seen at the lower part of the diagram. The reason being that at the office, the lower part has tons of empty spaces, which makes it a great place to place both of the servers. Additionally, we can add coolants if we want to, in case it creates excessive heat. The switch used here is an 8-port gigabit fast UTP switch, as well as the star topology that is also used here. The reason behind we chose that switch is because it is adaptable to the environment. The modem, which you can see is connected to the router. And last but not least, the cables that are used, which is UTP CAT5E. The reason being that it is cheap, flexible, and easy to install, which fulfills the requirement that the solution of the network diagram must be cost-effective. Now I will pass to our next presenter, which is Lee. Thank you for listening to my part.
Thank you, Firdaus. It is now my turn to speak. Hi, my name is Lee Angi, metric number 79833, and I will be presenting about Office B. The number of devices, such as computers and laptops, labeled as C and LD in the network diagram, is based on the Office B layout and the number of employees. Since the manager's room, executive room, front desk counter, and 2 stationary employee work areas are fixed in the Office B, the computers are placed there. The mobile device, which is laptop, are provided to 3 mobile employees. There are 2 laptops in the open area for mobile employee and the other one in the meeting room. The concept of star topology is used to connect the 15 computers with switches in order to construct a cost-effective network solution. The main switch, labeled as SA in the network diagram, connects to the sub-switch S1, S2, S3, as well as 2 computers, a router, and access point 2. Since the switch A must connect to several network components, an 8-port gigabit switch is selected. For the S1, S3, and the sub-switch of S2, which is S2.1 and 2.2, which are connected to 3 or 4 computers, a 5-port gigabit switch is chosen. An access point is used to link a wireless laptop and printer to another network to build a wireless LAN. So, in Office B, there are two access points, one in the meeting room and the other one in the open area for mobile employee. The access point also has a gigabit internet port for connecting to the router or switch. The difference between access point 1 and access point 2 is that access point 1 connects to a router, whereas access point 2 connects to the main switch. The reason for connecting access point 1 to the router is the router may monitor and give restricted Wi-Fi to the meeting visitor. To connect the main switch, file server and web server, a router with 5 gigabit WAN or LAN ports and 1 gigabit SFP1 port is chosen. The SFP port functions as connected the internet gateway through the fiber cable. The cable used in this office is unshielded twisted pair cable category 5E with RJ45 connector. The implementation in Office B are gigabit internet implementation, which is 1000 base D. The purpose for using this type of connection and implementation is to ensure that the 500 megabits per second downlink and 100 megabits per second uplink work smoothly. The file server and web server will be located near the router. Because the router is at the front desk counter, so both servers will be there as well. Based on the office layout, we can also say that the front desk counter is the center of the office because all of the main network components such as router and main switch are located here. Thus, in my opinion, this is the best location to put both servers. That's all for Office V. Thank you for listening my presentation. I will pass to your hands.
Alright, thank you very much, Lee. Hi, my name is Jonas Jo and I'm going to present network diagram for Office C. As you can see, this is the network diagram for Office C. To connect the internet from one internet provider, we use type UTP cable CAT5E to modem inside the office. UTP CAT5E cable is a standard cable that is being used for connecting and linking all the devices in the office. The topology for this networking is star topology. Network and router are being placed at the middle of the office. From the router, it connected through the computers inside the office space 1. Also, it connected to the file and web server and all the computers in the office area 2. Next, the router is connected to the printer and the computer on the secretary desk in the reception room. Then it is connected to the CEO's room. Overall, this is the design plan for linking all the devices in the office with one internet gateway. As for the network switch, 8 port gigabit fast Ethernet UTP switch is network switch to be used. This network switch has RJ45 Ethernet ports. The 8 port switch can be managed and unmanaged. Managed switch can be adjusted to improve the operation of a network and a better option for long term. The UTP CAT5E network cable is the transmission media being used to link the devices in the office. CAT5E supports rates up to 1000 megabits per second Mbps. This is more than enough for vast majority of internet connections. To place the server, it is important to consider the specific requirements such as size of the office and number and type of devices that business use. For web server, it is good to be placed at the left side of the second office space where the stationary employee work area at. Reason of this is because the office has bigger area than the rest and it has no windows. For file server, it can be placed in the same office space but near below the web server. The location for both servers will make the cabling much more convenient to connect the servers through one way from the router. It is important to keep the servers on the desk or shelf. Additionally, include the cooling system to prevent the hardware from being damaged by excessive temperatures. For the next part, I will pass to Oliver. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Johannes. So my name is Oliver Ochenchi and my matrix number is 80920. I'm going to present outdoor network solution that interbuilding all of the three offices of organization XYZ. As we know, the distance between Office B to Office A and Office A to Office C are less than 100 meters. Therefore, our team recommended wire network connection to link internet by using Ethernet cable, which is UTP category 5E in the whole network structure. In this outdoor network diagram, a cable modem from ISP is connected to core router, and then the core router linked to switch Office A. As Office A is the main building, the main switch from Office A connects to both layer 3 switches Office B and Office C. There are two main servers which are web server and file server placed at the top floor main building Office A. This is because the position of the center building for locating both servers are more efficiency and perform the entire data delivery to all offices. Generally, the speed of a wired network are faster than a wireless network because it is not easily affected by other signals or connections. The reasons why the wired networks are not easy to interference from other signals is because it's a single and separate coaxial cable connector to each network device. Each Ethernet cable transmits data and signals at the same speed, which enables a more efficiency representation of the network system in use. Besides, wired network technology is able to make the entire internet smooth is because it's not easily connected or used by other unauthorized users. So there is no unnecessary signal interference. Based on our team's consideration of cost, wired network is more cost effective than wireless network, and we use UTP category 5E compared to other Ethernet cables such as fiber optic cable. UTP category 5E cable is more cheaper and suitable on this scenario. That's all from me, and I will pass to Lashani for the next parts. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. Hi, I'm Nishini. So I am going to present Task 3 Network Protection Strategy and Task 4 Access Control Strategy for Facebook. So for Task 3, I would like to suggest and explain how should the overall network should be protected against external intruders or hackers, and also protection against unauthorized network access, illegal file server access, and denial of service attack to the web server. Firstly is by using two-factor authentication. So two-factor authentication is an electronic authentication for extra protection that is used to ensure the security of a website or application. So for an example, if the user should access for the file, the user should be granted a one-time password, which is well known as OTP. It will be received on the mobile phone or other devices which we connected. So as the sample shown below, first we will enter the username and password in the file or in the icon as usual. Then the OTP will be sent to our mobile phone or other devices. Once we receive the OTP, we will enter the code into our file or application. So by that, we will able to access to the file or application. We normally could see this feature in Instagram mainly. And for the second suggestion is by using a strong password. Normally, user will prefer to use easy passwords such as 12345 or ABCD because it is quite easy to remember. but we should not use like that. A strong password is included with capital letter, small letter, number, and special character with 12 to 16 characters in total. So for an example is like the Unimasku sayang. So the U there is in capitalized and the other alphabet in small letter with one number and also with one special character, which is the alias. So by implying a strong password, it is difficult against brute force because it will be like a tricky suggestion for the hackers or other outsiders. Also, it is advisable to not use the same password for all the accounts and files, even though the password is strong enough, but then it is not advisable to use the same password to all the files and accounts. Lastly, maximum password age. Maximum password age is a password setting where it will be used in a certain period of days, mostly like 60 days. After the day period has been reached, it will require us to change to a new password. So the expiration number of days can be our own preference, like 42 days, 30 days, or 75 days. It could be anything, but it is advisable to only set it for 60 days because compared to other days, 60 days is not too long or not too short. And then the image below is the example that how we could set the maximum password age. Next is task 4, suggestion and explanation on how to control the Facebook access during office hours shall be implemented access control strategy for Facebook. So firstly, by implying internet filter. So what is internet filter is a software where the employee or user will be blocked from certain websites like Facebook and give access only to certain websites as we prefer where the employee and user could access. So this is one of the method could prevent employees from using Facebook. Secondly is by using a firewall setting. In the firewall setting, we can schedule at which time employees are allowed to access to Facebook, such as during lunch hours like 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. or during tea time 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Lastly is monitoring the computer use of the employee. So monitoring computer use is the process where employers are being surveillance or record an employee's activity on a PC or laptop. So this normally will be handled by our leaders, like they will keep on a record our activities that what we are doing and everything. So these are the methods that could be effective where we can control Facebook access during office hours. So that is all from Group 11. Thank you to Madam Siliawati and my friends.